Okay, well, I'm getting ready to go to work. I work at 11 o'clock. It's 10. It's just about 10 after 10 now. I'm cooking my dinner here. I've noticed at 350 degrees, which the manufacturer tells you to do, it's too hot. Look, it's melting melting the tray. So I've reduced my heat to 300, and I'm going to reduce the cooking time to 30 minutes from 40 minutes, because this is a toaster oven after all. And we'll see if it works or not. If the chicken's cooked, then I'll know I'm good. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. It'll be a nice day to work in the bush again and to get other work done around that place. I have a couple of other jobs that they want me to do today too. Cleaning cleaning the dirty eaves troughs and things like that where they've gotten soiled on the outside of the eaves troughs. They've turned like black, you know. So that all needs to be washed off and stuff. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is kind of different. It's a different topic than my usual topic. What I want to talk about today is homelessness. Well, in a way, every topic is homelessness in a way with me, because that's the theme kind of this thing, I guess, is I'm a kind of a homeless guy, and well, what I'm dealing with and what I'm going through day to day and how I'm coping. But I want to talk about homelessness in a kind of a different context right now. As funny as it sounds, and I know it's going to sound funny, and this is not a recommendation for homelessness. This is not me saying that, hey, homelessness is great, everyone should try it. But there are some positives to it, just like there are to anything. And I'm going to share with you some of the positives that I have, the things I've reaped the benefit of by being homeless. And like I say, again, this is not a recommendation for homelessness. And my situation isn't the same as everyone else's. Everybody's situation is different. I've been lucky. I've had some good friends that have helped me out along the way. Not everybody has that. I've also been lucky that I'm not suffering from addiction or mental illness. At least no more mental illness than the average person. Could be said that we're all kind of crazy. But here's the thing. This situation has taken me out of my comfort zone in a big way. And it's forced me to come to terms with a bunch of things that I wouldn't have come to terms with otherwise. Things about myself, things that I need to improve about myself, and also things about the world in general, and about society and so on. Things I was already aware of, and even the things that they needed to improve about myself, I was already aware of. But I didn't have a gun put to my head like I do now. I wasn't forced to work on things like I am now. And being a typical lazy person, I didn't work on things, until I had that hypothetical gun put to my head, which is what homelessness has done. It's put the hypothetical pistol up against my head and forced me to look at things differently, forced me to really become a better man, I hope, at least, and become more of a man than I was. Yeah. For example, when I was young, or even up to a few years ago, I allowed a lot of crap to take place in my life. I allowed people to run on me. I allowed people to walk over me. There were times I stood up for myself, and then things generally got really ugly, because then it would go from 0 to 100 real quick. But I generally had to be pushed in a big way before that would happen. And that's one of the reasons that things went from 0 to 100 real quick. Anyway, in the last few years, I've severed several relationships that some of them were even lifelong relationships that were not productive, and that not only did they not bring me peace, they actually robbed me of my peace. Relationships that consume my time and my energy and my resources, and really just relationships that weren't pleasant, relationships that where I was putting up with a lot and getting little to nothing in return. And the only time I ever got any consideration in those relationships was if I was doing what the people I was mixed up with wanted me to do, if I wasn't making waves, if they were benefiting from their association with me in some way, well, then I might get the occasional pat on the back and told what a good guy I was. But really, it wasn't worth it just for the price I had to pay for that, you know. And so, I've severed those relationships that tended to be very one-sided, relationships where it seemed like I was doing all the work and I was doing all the paying, and I was spending most of the energy, and on top of that, I was dealing with people who really did disturb my peace, you know. People who would do things that would just mean things, you know. People who were users and people who were abusers.